Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again, and today I'm going to be showing you some of the niche fragrances in my collection, so stay tuned for that. And if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. So a subscriber asked me to do this video, and I'm going to do the niche portion of this video in two parts, mostly because I do have a lot of niche fragrances and I don't want to make like a 30-minute video. So I'm going to show you some of the fragrances that I have, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each one. So I'm going to do them a little bit by collection. Some of them I have just one from the house. And the first one I'm going to show you was a really fun one, and this is Cola by Outremer. I think this is niche or indie, maybe. I'm lumping these two categories together. But this is a fun one, very inexpensive. I think it was like $20. And this smells like Coca-Cola gummy bears. So it does open up very nicely with this really nice resemblance to Coca-Cola gummy bears. It's sweet. I guess there's a bit of vanilla there and a bit of a cola accord. Works really well. It does dry down a little bit different into something more like a spicy fresh fragrance, so it is nice and it does kind of develop into its own thing. There are still cola vibes there, but this is a really nice fragrance. Fun, playful, great for spring, I think. The only bad thing about it is that it lasts only about 3 to 4 hours. But again, $25 for this, not such a big deal. I don't mind reapplying in that case. So that is Cola by Outremer. Next, I think I'm going to talk about my Parfums de Marly. So I do actually have quite a few Parfums de Marly, or a decent amount. Well, not compared to some people, but they are a brand that I love. I love the presentation. They have a lot of good fragrances. And the first niche fragrance that I ever actually bought was a Parfums de Marly, and that's Wajan. I know a lot of people compare this to Amber Narguile, which came first. So, you know, take that as you may, but this is, to me, a very beautiful beast mode fragrance. Honey, cinnamon, balm. A lot of those two notes in there throughout the life of this fragrance. There is osmanthus, which for some people gives it a little bit of an apple pie kind of feel. I don't really get the apple pie. I get it a little bit when I smell it off the nozzle, but when it's on my skin, that note doesn't really pop. It's more about the honey and the cinnamon, and it's very luxurious fragrance. It smells really, really good. It's a great gourmand fragrance, and it does feel special when I decide to put this one on. So I do like this one. For sentimental value, I will probably actually pick up a second bottle of this if or when I do run out. So that is one of my Parfums de Marly. I do have another one. This is actually was the second one to buy my collection, and it's Galloway. So I do really like this one. I know it's not talked about as much in the community. It's a lesser talked freshie from the house. A lot of people prefer something like Percival, which is also a nice fragrance. But this one's a little bit different. So it's a musky, clean, peppery fragrance. It does have a nice citrus in the opening as well, which I do really like. It has this very nice, lively citrus note. So the pepper in there, also very noticeable, gives it a little bit of an edge. I do find, I will say occasionally, that it's a little too peppery, but not all the time. In fact, most of the time when I wear it, it's not too peppery. It's just sometimes, I guess when I throw it on, I'm not fully in the mood for it. It does have a little bit too much pepper, but it has this really nice, clean, musky fragrance, and sometimes it gives the impression of clean water, which I really like. There is iris in this, which I was surprised about. I'm not a huge iris fan, but I think it just gives it that cleanness, so it doesn't have that makeup bag feel that some fragrances have. And I picked this up as a tester. As you can see in the back, the testers do have the notes, which I like. And it was a really, really good price. I think I got this for around $110, which is a nice price. The next one and the last Parfums de Marly is Sedley. So I do like this one. This is the 2010. So the main reason I never picked this fragrance up in the first place was mostly the performance. So I did try it when it first came out. I did like the profile, but I found that the performance was terrible. Sometimes only like an hour or something. And that's not good enough for what you pay for it. So I did decide to pick this one up, and I am happy that the performance is there. So that is my Parfums de Marly collection. Next, I'm going to go through my Kilians. So I also have 3 Kilian fragrances. Kilian, also one of my favorite brands. I think the biggest thing that drew me to the brand actually was the aesthetic. I liked the coffers. I really liked the bottles. And I think the second niche fragrance I ever purchased was a Kilian. And this is one that got hyped up a lot by Big Beer Business. I decided to go down to the store and I actually picked up a sample because where I was living, they did have a Kilian boutique, and they gave me a Black Phantom sample, and it blew me away. So it was exactly what I heard it was. So it was fantastic for me. Love on first sniff. Really do like this one. I still like it. I don't wear it as much as I used to, but I still like this one. I think this is a really great evening out fragrance, and for gourmand lovers, it's great. Sweet, chocolatey, sugary. I don't get much booziness, so I know there is booze in this. There is rum. I don't get too much of that. There is coffee as well, and I get a little bit of that in the opening, but not really that much. It's very caramelly for me. Sugary, sweet, chocolatey, and it is really, really nice. So I do enjoy this one. The next one that I picked up was Moonlight in Heaven. So I think it was Neiman Marcus was having a sale, and I decided to pick it up because discounted Kilians can be a little hard to find. You can find testers and stuff every once in a while, and actually my Black Phantom I got as a partial, so I got a very good price on that. But I love the new writing. You see the white in there with the blue, very aesthetic. So this one is a nice tropical fragrance, and I think it's really well done. It has a rice note, which sets it apart a little bit. It has coconut, it has a very, very realistic mango. So this one is really, really nice, really interesting. I think it's best for spring, summer evenings. Again, evening wear, really, really good for that. It isn't the loudest fragrance, but again, I think it's more of these ones that's supposed to be a little bit more subtle because just the way the fragrance is, it's a little bit sweet, a little bit seductive, and a little bit playful. And that's also why I think it's a good evening fragrance, but I do sometimes wear this in the day. I really do like this one, and I love the rice note. If anything, and if they do make an extreme of this, I hope the rice note is what they decide to amp up among maybe other things, but that rice note, it's gorgeous. I wish it was a little bit stronger. And the last Kilian that I have is Straight to Heaven Extreme. So this is one of these fragrances that is absolutely fantastic to wear, as long as you don't mind smelling like a bit of an alcoholic. It's very, very boozy. So if you have smelled the original Straight to Heaven, this one is more boozy. It's more sweet. It has more vanilla. And it's a little bit less woody, actually. I get more woodiness from Straight to Heaven. That's actually one of the things I like about the original Straight to Heaven, is that woody, boozy combination. But this one is much more boozy, much more sweet. It also performs better in general, so I do like it. I didn't get the best performance out of Straight to Heaven. One of the things I didn't really like about it. But anyways, that is my Kilian collection. I might pick up another one at some point. I like Pure Malt. Definitely want to pick that one up, and I want to get Musk Oud, which I think is a fantastic musky oud fragrance, and definitely worth checking out if you like that kind of thing. Not too skanky, although a little bit in the opening, but very nicely done, and not talked about quite enough in my opinion. So the next one is a brand, and the next bit of the collection is a brand that I've talked about a lot, one that I think is great because fantastic value. Also, I believe it was actually the first guy to make a brand who was a YouTuber. His name I believe is Jeff Pegg, and the brand is Kerosene. So Kerosene, he no longer reviews anymore, he just does fragrances. Kerosene is a fantastic brand, and I like them because you get good value for good fragrances. So their bottles are 100 ml for $140, which I think is pretty fair. That's just like a high designer price, and what you're actually getting is like a niche fragrance, so it's pretty fair price. But I have 3 of them. The first one I ever bought was Unknown Pleasures, a complete blind buy, and I'm happy I did because this one is absolutely fantastic. It has this beautiful waffle cone vibe to it. It has a little bit of lemon in the opening. That doesn't last that long, and then it has this really sugary waffle cone vibe that I really, really love on this one. I've gotten more than a few compliments with this one as well. So it is one of my more complimented fragrances, but I really, really enjoy this one. Good for gourmand lovers. Now, the next one from Kerosene is Follow. This is one that has been talked about a lot, as well as Unknown Pleasures. This is a coffee fragrance. It's basically just coffee. It opens up really, really dark. It smells a lot like black coffee to me, but a lot of sweetness starts to set in, and I think this transforms more into like a mocha. It is pretty good, and it does last pretty well, and I think that's the downfall of a lot of coffee fragrances, is the coffee note doesn't last that long. For me, for this one, it has a coffee vibe the entire fragrance, which is one thing I was looking for in a coffee fragrance, and this one did it. There's another one I really want to try. I think it's called Awake by Acro. Definitely want to try that one out because I've heard good things about that one as well, and it is a very coffee dominant fragrance. And I don't drink coffee. I actually hate coffee, but I do love the smell of coffee. The last one should be no surprise to anyone who watches the channel. I talk about this one a lot, and it is Blackmail. Blackmail is a really, really good oud fragrance. If you like oud, but you don't want anything skanky or rank or too challenging, I think Blackmail is a good one that you should get a sample of. It is a smoky oud with a bit of a sweet dried fruit to it. And the sweetness is nice because it really balances out. And the smokiness is quite strong. It almost feels or smells like burning wood. And the oud is not, you know, it smells a little bit different, but it doesn't smell, it smells woody, but a little bit different. And the oud that I compare it to, it smells similar to the oud in oud wood, in my opinion. Although the fragrance does smell quite different. If you were to try and get an idea of what the oud smells like in that one, it smells similar to oud wood. But I do like this one actually more than oud wood, and it performs a lot better. This one, you know, easily 12 hours on my skin. So very great fragrance there as well. Down to the last little set that I'm going to show you in this part of the niche collection. The next one is Naxos. This one, you know, I thought about trying it out. I talked to a subscriber, and he said, you know, you absolutely have to check this one out. He sent me a sample. I gotta admit, I actually didn't smell the sample. I think by the time it got to me, I had decided that I was just gonna buy it, and I got a really, really good price on this one. And when I was decanting this, because I did a split on it, it blew me away. It is so well done. Yes, it smells similar to Pure Havane, but the quality is a little bit higher, and it is a little bit better. Now, given that I got a good price on it, I think it's worth it. Some people might just prefer to get Pure Havane, and I can totally understand that because they're very, very similar. But this is just so well done, and you know what? It smells so good, and it performs so well. So beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I love the bottle style of these Xerjoffs as well, with the sort of angles and the roundness, and of course the frosted glass looks really nice, so I love the presentation on these bottles. And the last one is none other than the wonderful and sought after Italica. I originally picked this fragrance up when I was in the UK. I had a bit of a leak in my bottle actually, and because I bought it retail, Harvey Nichols, I guess because I talked to them when I was back in the US, they didn't seem to care or didn't want to respond, was a little upset about this, but this one was released online temporarily, and I couldn't miss the opportunity to grab it up. Did grab this one up, and perfect condition bottle, so I'm very happy about that. Beautiful. I love having this one in my collection. Nice sort of velvety or crushed something or other. Nice look to this with the white tassel, and this is such a gorgeous gourmand fragrance. It really is one of the best. I know people talk about it as, you know, god tier, and it is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best gourmand fragrances available. Fantastically done. Nice almond biscuit vibe with a little subtle cherry in the opening. And I will share with you one last one because it's related, and that is Virtuoso, which is a inspiration of Italica, which by Genre Parfums I think is quite well done. Given the price point difference, as I mentioned when I compared these, the opening is quite a bit different in the sense that this doesn't really have a strawberry, it's more of a cherry if anything. But what they do nail with this one is the sillage, so it's a sillage beast, and that creamy, biscuity vibe. So it is good for the price point. It's not, of course, 100%, but I think it is definitely a nice inspiration, and if you get the chance, you should check it out. Anyways, guys, that is part 1 of my collection. Let me know in a comment down below some of the niche fragrances you have. Have you tried anything in my collection? And, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.